Let me in, Miquellas. I want in your big pelvis egg cocoon thing. They say this is how you access the DLC. But how exactly, though? Is there a button you gotta push to make the blood droplets come out so you can enter just like Moog exited? Question mark? Oh, well hello there. It's me, Nobody. Are you gonna let overleveled phantoms in as well, Miquellas? What level should I be for the DLC?
It doesn't matter what your
Level.
name is.
Oh great, Miyazaki. Give us answers. What's the correct level to enter the DLC?
Ha ha ha, you maiden less tarnished. It matters not what level you are when you enter my Shadowland. Not only will it be hard as balls, I have constructed a master plan to nerf anyone and everyone who steps foot in the land of shadows. Especially those max level players who used the rune glitch to make their character into the ultimate Chad. With this system, like in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the difficulty will be fixed and you must upgrade in order to make your vigor and attack stronger. No one will be safe from my poisonous deathblight swamps and nut-hugging imps. So remember to guard your balls or you will lose it all and fall to those vicious little scrotum swingers. Ha 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 ha.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. I played Sekiro, and that game is pretty fun. On June 21st, 2024, the DLC will be accessed to everybody. Well, that has paid for it at least. But you may be wondering, since you can fight Mog at least halfway through the game, what level should you actually be before entering the DLC? And as The Rock previous stated,
It doesn't matter what your
Level.
name is.
because Miyazaki got a whole new system for us. Or at least that's the plan so far. When the DLC trailer hit, everyone was hysterical with joy and craziness.
Yes. Yeah.
So many theories and deep dives have popped up throughout the week. How long has it been? But we get to see it all. DLC this, DLC that. Hell, even this video's about a DLC of Shadow of the Erdtree. When will it end? It ends whenever we get another trailer or the DLC finally drops. But that's a long 4 months of waiting. And we hate waiting. Open up, you blind bastard. We want to see the Shadowland place thing. Not sure what it is, but I want to see it. Well, that's pretty much it for the intro. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Or don't, because you know people are gonna do what they're gonna do. But thank you for watching. Let's go see what kind of plans they got for us in the DLC.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, bye! Oh. You're still here? Come on now. The fuck, man? Who's doing the editing in these videos anyways?
In that forsaken place, blood must spill. The Erdtree faithful.
They just happen to be on the losing side of a war.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Hot diggity dog. This place is
And travel to
magnificent.
the realm. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Oh no, no, no.
So let's do a deep dive into Miyazaki's head as he explains to us what all is going to be in the DLC without giving too much away. It's going to be fantastic! This is the major thing we're looking at right here. In the Famitsu interview, there was a question asked, are there any new elements unique to the DLC? Miyazaki replied, there's an element of leveling unique to the DLC. Think of the attack power system in Sekiro. Separate from the original level system, there is an attack power that is only enabled in the DLC areas. This was introduced in order to give freedom to meet the threats mentioned earlier. If you can do something like explore other areas before going back to challenge bosses that were too strong for the first time, allowing you to more easily experience this even in high level range. On the other hand, by keeping your attack power low, you can also experience this challenge at a lower level. So what does this mean exactly? Well, if you have played Sekiro, you know that there is no real leveling system in that game. You in fact gain no levels at all. The way you increase your vitality and attack power is you go to their version of a bonfire, and throughout your journeys you will fight bosses and collect prayer beads, and the only way to level up your vitality and attack power is to get 4 of these prayer beads, so that means to beat 4 of these bosses. And yes, it's up to you if you want to use them to upgrade your vitality or attack power. Most of us do, but for the ones who want a real challenge, they don't do it at all. But after you defeat these 4 bosses, you will be able to go into your menu at their version of the bonfire and enhance physical attributes. Turning in these 4 prayer beads will increase your vitality and attack power. The game itself is mostly relied on stealth and criticals. Your opponents don't really have health bars, they have meters that will allow you to get criticals on them. Once you've broken their posture, you'll be able to perform a critical attack. The higher your attack power, the easier it is to break the posture of these enemies. At higher levels, you will need to collect the prayer beads and upgrade your vitality and attack power, or it will be a lot harder to get these criticals. Sekiro is all about timing, knowing when to attack and knowing when to deflect. And not only that, you get new abilities through a skill tree that you can turn in for skill points. Unlocking these skills will allow you to push a certain combination of buttons, or some will be passive, and you'll be able to perform these skills. In Elden Ring, the leveling up system is pretty straightforward. You just go to your grace and you go to level up, and you spend the points where your build requires you to spend them. For the ones who love these games, they tend to make builds that stop at a certain level. Meta level being around the 125 to the 150 mark. But others, they will level up to the max level without giving 2 fucks. Is there a problem with that? No, it's just their own personal play style. But as you know, this will be 2 different experiences when accessing a DLC. If there was no system in place for the max level players, it would be a lot easier for the ones who cap themselves at a lower level. So in a DLC that has enemies meant for the end game, but some people want higher level characters and some people want lower level characters, how will they have that progression stage? Like if you're max level, you really cannot progress any further than that. So how will they still get that experience from accessing the DLC? Going into the DLC with this system in place and it only being able to work in the DLC, you will have to level up your character like the system in Sekiro works. You have to go beat certain bosses to level up your character. That way, if you're level 130 or if you're max level, it does not matter. You will both have the same experience. All levels will be basically nerfed, and the difficulty will be experienced upon this new system. They could make it exactly like Sekiro, but I doubt it. I imagine it being for Elden Ring, it'll be an entirely new system completely. Miyazaki does confirm that there are going to be a couple legacy dungeons, and we are going to be able to access it through Miquellas' hand and Mogwin Palace through his cocoon. As for everything else, they're talking about how the difficulty has not changed in Elden Ring. He wants to create a challenging experience that tests the players and gives them a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment when they get through these struggles. He goes on to say that there is still a freedom of approach and strategy to these encounters. And that means both how you approach them. If you want to have a more difficult time and beat them as they are, you can. Or you can go and level up, get stronger, and come back. Or you can find an entirely new route around them completely and avoid them. Just like the Tree Centennial when you first enter the Lands Between. He's there as a big douchebag that tells you, hey, you can fight me if you want, but I would suggest you turn around before you get those cheeks clapped. And if you cannot beat a certain boss, then go exploring a little bit and come back later until you can beat him. It goes on to talk about the bosses and about how Malenia has been the big shining star of the boss to beat of Elden Ring. And he says there may not be another boss on exactly the same level as Malenia, but we feel like this is somewhere that we pay close attention to. This level of challenge and offering of the same level of freedom, and we hope the players are able to blossom in the Lands of the Shadow in the same way that they were in the Lands Between. Then the great Miyazaki goes on to say, actually, I want to redress that. It's not the fact that it's only a lesser level to Malenia, but we have prepared bosses that have similar mindset within the DLC area. Ones that will challenge the player and hopefully be as memorable as Malenia was. So basically there are bosses around the same level of difficulty as Malenia, but they're completely optional. You don't have to fight them to complete the DLC. It's for the ones who want to seek them out and actually have that level of difficulty. Miquellas is the central character in the story, of course, and you're basically following in his footsteps. So that little ruined sigil that we seen in the trailer may just be checkpoints of you following the same path that he did and meeting NPCs and enemies in the process. Mesmer the Impaler is gonna be the big bad of the DLC, of course. They made a big spectacle of the fight scene in the trailer. They go on to continue the conversation with about how you can access the DLC in the later half of the main story, and they ask if the difficult will be too high, and Miyazaki replies with yes in regards to stats. It follows that of the latter half of the main game. Basically, the approach towards difficulty is unchanged from the main title. The freedom you have in how you deal with these threats is the same, and there are difficult bosses like Malenia in the main story who don't need to be defeated. Even if they did not introduce this new leveling system, I think it would still be pretty fun in terms of if you want to play it with a max level character or not. They go to talk on about new weapons, magic, and incantations. Miyazaki replies with, yes, many weapons, spells, weapon arts, etc. have been added. They are one of the main selling points of this DLC, especially weapons. There are 8 new weapon types added. Of course, there will be additions to existing weapon types as well. I'm just gonna say, if you paid full price for the DLC, I'm about 99% sure that you're gonna get your money's worth. The type of weapon he mentions is large Japanese katanas and other reverse hand swords. And there will also be fighting styles like martial arts like we seen in the trailer, dude getting his teeth kicked in. Along with twin blades with shields attached to them. I guess you would call those dueling shields. And daggers you can actually throw at people. A main hand weapon you can just throw at people from across the room. A lot of these weapons are going to affect PvP in a big way. I imagine there will be a lot of exploits going on when this DLC drops. They're definitely going to have to nerf quite a bit of them, I assume. Especially that crossbow that shoots like 50 fucking bolts at one time. It looks badass though. But we're gonna stop it there. I just wanted to talk about the new level scaling and everything. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Until next time, my dudes, have fun.
Did you enjoy this video? Consider subscribing to the main channel at Mr. Nobody Elden Souls where it's more focused on invading. Or the second channel at Nobody Elden Things where its focus is on helping and will be the main hub for invading for dummies. Subscribe to both and I promise you will not be disappointed. Thank you for watching. my tarnished, and we will see you next time.
Like and subscribe, or I'll deathblight you in your sleep. This message has been approved by the mayor of Froggy Town.